Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Please ignore how I look. It's not that I don't look good, it's just that I wasn't doing a lot today, so I didn't really dress up much. But I'm very excited for you guys to see what I have planned for this video. I'm going to be talking about my OCs pretty much and the world that I've kind of built for them. I'm going to be doing a little bit of work while I'm here too. I'm going to be working on this nail set. You guys aren't going to see it, but just wanted you all to know. Okay, so for this video, I have two OCs that I made for this world. I think that I'll expand it in the future, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, so the first OC's name is Maris. She is the youngest daughter of the water nymph royal family, and she has moved to a private school for specific magical nymphs. I wrote down that there are three royal nymph families, basically consisting of water, sky, and garden nymphs. There's also a hierarchy within these nymphs as well. Between the royal family, sky is at the top, then comes garden, and then comes water. So I like to think that sky is at the top because it doesn't just consist of the weather and the clouds and things like that. It also consists of planet nymphs. So I think that they would be the highest ruling royals in this universe, but just because another kind of nymph is ranked lower doesn't mean that they have less rights. It just means that they might not have control over the same things that the other nymphs have control over. I'd like to think that the garden nymphs and the sky nymphs might have the power to control a military or control the management positions in this royal hierarchy, but the water royals might not. So it's not necessarily like a bad thing. It's not that they get less rights. It's just that they don't have the same responsibilities as the other ones. So in a way, each of the royals are unique in that way. But anyways, focusing back on the main character, Maris, she is 17, and like I said, she's just moved to this new private school specifically for magical nymphs. So yes, she goes to the school, and it's basically just a coming of age story about her trying to navigate with the changes in her world. Now, I'm going to give you some more information about how it's going for her. Even though her family is sort of well off, it doesn't mean that they don't have struggles. The royals in this universe might not be rich. They're more just authority to control the big things. So you might think these royals are so filthy rich, they're having parties every day and stuff. It's more of like your average high school principal or something, because they have their own struggles as well. They're not excessively rich. So she's going to this high school, to this private high school, and she finds out that the next year the school will be closing down because of a corporation. Those are the real filthy rich people. Because of a corporation taking over the company and eventually turning it into something else. Basically, they'll be tearing it down after she graduates. And this is really hard for her to cope with, of course, because it's like although she might not have been there for a while, she still observes the rest of the students and their family like presence in a way. So she doesn't only feel bad about the school closing down, she also feels bad about the rest of the students losing their childhood in a way, because I guess it's one thing when you move on from an era. It's another thing when that era is basically erased from the present day. So it's basically just a coming of age story about how she'll cope with that. Now that I really look at the characters, I start to think to myself, like, oh, Mara sort of looks like Manon from Cat's Eye. And every time I look at the drawing I made of her, I see it more and more and more, which isn't a bad thing. I love Manon. I love Cat's Eye in general, but I did not realize that until it was too late. So now, before I get into the next character, I'm going to talk about some of my inspirations at first. Even if I don't go anywhere with these OCs, I still want you guys to know what I was thinking when I was coming up with them. I had originally, I think I saw a video somewhere talking about sea nymphs, or I had seen a Lore Olympus related video, and although I may not like the writing of the story, I ultimately love the concept of sea nymphs, I love Greek gods. I've always been interested in that since a child. But, we're focusing on the sea nymphs. We're focusing on the nymphs. I've always loved how the creator of Lore Olympus drew them. So I've always been inspired by them. And at this time, when I was watching this video, I was really heavily inspired by Monster High and Ever After High and Royal High. It was more like I was thinking about a school specifically catered to these fantasy creatures that have classes specifically catered towards their needs. So I thought to myself, I wrote down a lot of different kinds of nymphs, and I wrote down little sections at which each nymph was fit into. Like, there are many things I could explore in this category, and I'm glad I made it that way because it makes it easier for me to expand it in the future. But I also was really inspired by underwater fashion. I was looking a lot of that stuff up as I was coming up with the outfits. I had originally wanted the school uniform to be inspired by seaweed and very underwater inspired detailing, but I realized that the school is going to be for all nymphs, not just water nymphs. So I had just changed it to the simple inspiration picture that I had saw before, because I really loved how it kind of folded over on the shirt, and I loved the bow part. I thought it was a cute school outfit, and it was kind of different from what you would usually see. So the drawings that you're seeing, the first two drawings, are both of the girls in their school outfits, and the last drawing at the end will be their casual outfits. So yes, the next character's name I have is Inara. She's the same age as Maris, and she is a flower nymph. I'm very, very excited to talk about her. I made her Indian. I hope you can tell that she's Indian in the pictures. I've honestly have been really inspired by their culture as of lately. I think all of their history and culture is so beautiful. And honestly, the next time I draw her, I want to make it a little bit closer to the references that I was doing. But at this time, I was really rushing, so I feel like I didn't put as much thought as I could have into it. I actually didn't talk about Maris's interests a lot, but I like to think that she is a very sheltered child. She was a very sheltered child until she got to the school and made friends with Inara, but she was a very sheltered child, and so she doesn't really have many interests besides from playing piano and drawing occasionally. Most of the activities that she had an interest in, a lot of her parents would not allow her to do, which is very unfortunate. But that all changes when she meets Inara, who is very chronically online. She's chronically online. She is a makeup fanatic. You can see that in the drawing that I drew of her. She has her little makeup palette and everything. And I'd love to make more drawings of her doing her makeup. I think that's amazing. Yes, so she is very into makeup. She's very into social media, pop culture, and she's also into a lot of fashion as well, which is very similar to me in a way. And personally, when I make all of my OCs, I usually love putting like a piece of myself with all of them, or a piece of somebody I know within all of them. It makes them feel like so much more like, it makes them feel a lot more realistic to me, and it makes them have it makes me connect with them more in a way, which is important to me, because if I don't connect with them, if I don't feel a connection with them, I will not continue drawing them. You know what I mean? So I love to put pieces of myself or pieces of others within my OCs. And that's what I did with Anara by making her super into makeup and fashion. But I love that she's very feminine on a daily basis. She's very adorable, very cute, literally will do no wrong. Even within their very healthy relationship, they still have their own fights and, you know, disagreements from time to time, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to make up at the end and, you know, keep connecting and keep talking like usual. I think that it's normal in any friendship to not agree over something in certain places, and you know, that's how it is for them. That's just how it is. Now, for places I want to go with them, I have not figured that out. I do want, for a while now, I've been wanting to make a comic about friendships and things like that. I think that if I expand this universe a little bit more, I'll be able to. I think that in the future, I want to add more people to their friend group, because there's a very infinite there are infinite possibilities within this small little world that I've made. You know, infinite nymphs that I can make, and I'm very excited for that. If you guys are, if you guys like this video, I might make another one. But again, I do have plans for the rest, not really the rest of the month, but for the last picture, I really wanted to use seaweed as an inspiration for Maris's shirt. And I think I really accomplished that, because it turned out really nice. I really love the way that it turned out. I do think that I want to dive a little bit deeper into their story. Not just into their story, but into their universe, because it feels like there are very much endless possibilities with how I can move around with their story. And I also, in the future, want to get better at making video scripts, I guess. Not just video scripts, but videos in general. I just want to improve. But if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section. And if you stayed here all the way to the end, then leave a blue heart in the comment section. Bye-bye.